morning, everyone. How are we doing this morning? I'm really excited. I have something new. It's not new to those of you taking Kabbalah 1, but it's new to Spiritual Sunday, a demonstration to show you. So I'm very thrilled about that. And, oh yes, I forgot what I need. Okay, so we'll get that too. But I'm going to need somebody who hasn't done this before to be the volunteer. So just prepare yourself. How many new people are here? How many of you are new to Spiritual Sunday? Yes. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't worry, you don't have to be the volunteers. I wouldn't want to make you too uncomfortable the first time you're here. Maybe the third or fourth time is a little better. Thank you. That's very supportive of you. Ha, ha, ha. Okay. Great. So my name is Chaim Solomon. I'm one of the senior teachers here in Boca. And we're about to change your life and my life together and the world collectively. Is that a good thing? Yes. Are you happy about that? Yes. Absolutely. Okay, yes, all right. So we got people from all over the world watching us. Are we on yet? Not yet. Okay, so 2 minutes we'll greet them. Let's do our affirmation together. We're constantly raising our consciousness. We're constantly changing what we see and believe about the world because that's the only way we're going to change our lives and the people around us. Each one of us can become inspiration to other people, not by what we say as much as by what we do. When they see that you've changed your fear, you've overcome your anger or resentment or hurt, then they're going to be drawn to the wisdom that brings you that change, as you've all been drawn here. So let's start with our affirmation. We say it together to engrave more of the truth and take out more of the falsehoods that we've grown up with. Consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself to behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. And in order to get that started, we're going to stand up and welcome each other. Let's do it. Pretty amazing. That's one of my favorite parts of the week. Me too, huh? Okay. So let's welcome all our friends from Facebook around the world. Let them know you're here. Yay, welcome. A few shout outs. Now it's becoming popular. Now they're writing to me, please. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. So we have Goldie in the Philippines. We have Emma in Germany. We have Jordana in London. Ivana in Ocala. Got to get the States here too. Richard in Maine. Sarah Lacell in New York. Serpa in northern Florida. Sylvia in Boston. Tim in California. And Ubia in the Dominican Republic. So among all the hundreds we got. So thank you for being with us. All right, so let's get started today. So I want to start with a joke. And I've been working on how to start it. So the foolish, naive person, okay, walks in the doctor's office and says she has broken body, hurts all over. And she looks at the doctor and he says, well, show me. He says, okay, takes the finger and does like this. Ow, 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 ow. Everywhere they touch it hurts. So the doctor looks at the she, simpleton, naive person, you get the drift, and looks at the finger and says, no, it's not about your body. Your finger's broken. Okay. Great. I like that. So do I. I'm glad I got through it in the right way. Okay. So what does that mean for us? So if you look at your life, all of us have various types of challenges and difficulty in some part of our life, don't we? So the same thing. So we could say we have pain over here at home, we have pain at work, we have pain in here, wherever it is. The issue is not the pain itself, but the unfortunate part is whenever we have pain, I was hearing an echo, we tend then to become hopeless and helpless. What am I going to do? How can it be, etc. Like relative to the joke, when we begin seeing again and again and again the same type of pain or difficulties or challenges, what you and I are beginning to learn is, well, there's one common factor, isn't there? Like the broken finger. What's the common factor in the story? was the broken finger. So everywhere the person touched, it hurt. Not because of the rest of the body, but because of the finger. So you and I are learning here through Kabbalah that wherever we have pain, there's a part of us that needs to be changed. Because what usually happens when we have pain or we have difficulty, we tend to start blaming, and that becomes the way we call hugging our chaos. Any of you still have a little resentment to anybody? Yes. From more before yesterday? Yes. You still have hurt, you have guilt from years back. So what are we doing? We're hugging our chaos. We're hugging it. It's long gone. If it's before, even yesterday is gone. But if it goes back before yesterday, then who's holding on to it? So we're hugging our chaos. And here's how we start to overcome it and feel comfortable about it. Number one, we find blame. Right? It's their fault. My pain is their fault. Now, as silly as it sounds, as hugging our chaos sounds pretty crazy, but that's what we tend to do. The moment we're blaming somebody, now I'm okay, they're the cause of my pain. They're the ones making it difficult for me in life. But at some point, like the finger, we have to start realizing, wait a second, even when it looks like different parts of our life, who's the one common factor? Me, like the finger. So we have to start then looking at ourselves. We have to stop blaming other people because it's only temporary fulfillment. Yes, it gives us a little bit of satisfaction for the moment because I have someone to blame. A person got in a car accident. 2 cars meet in the middle of the intersection. We don't say, that was just randomness, do we? If we're watching somebody else's eyes, look at that, it's an accident, it's random. But the first thing those 2 drivers do when they get out of the car is what? They want to start establishing blame. Blame. Who's at fault? Why? Because it makes them feel good. Maybe it was one of those close things. Somebody wasn't paying attention one way, the other one wasn't paying attention the other way, right? So instead of accepting, what do? No, they got to blame, find a way the other one's at fault. And so what do we become? I wrote it on Facebook. Some of you heard it. Drama queens and drama kings. And what do we get for that? Why are so many people, why do they enjoy telling you all the drama in their life? Let's stop and think about it. Why? Because it's on television. Right? Why are dramas so popular on television? Draws our attention, right? Who's at fault? Who's doing what to whom? How is it going to happen, etc. So we all, in one way or another, by hugging our chaos, we become drama kings and queens. And then we have to tell our friends, you know what happened to me? Let me tell you about it. You know what went on? Let me tell you. Even back then, 20 years ago, you know what they said, what they did, etc., etc. Think about it. That's what we do. Why? Because we get a sense of pleasure from it. Because now everybody giving us their energy. Their sympathetic energy. Oh, you poor person, really, did that happen? Or just their attention. Now, we're the center of attention. Right? Let me tell you the drama that happened to me. And that's it, and we don't even realize it. That's the sad part. It becomes unconscious actions, unconscious thought. But all of us, one way or another, we are those drama queens because we haven't realized we're the common factor. I have one student who was just recently telling me, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 different bad relationships. So of course, who was at fault? All the men she had ever dated and been in a relationship with. It was all their fault. They were all nasty. They were all not nice. They all played the game in the beginning, and then at the end, they showed their true colors. On and on and on. Even when she came to the center, that was one of the first things she told me. You have no idea what my life was like, Chaim. This and this and this and this. By the time she got to about the 4th class of Kabbalah 1, she started to realize, as we're learning today, who's the common factor? She was. So we're not saying they may not have done something. They did whatever they did. They said what they did. They acted how they did. But she came to realize, wait a second, I'm the common factor. I'm the blockage, not them. I'm the broken finger. So once I heal the broken finger, then if I do this, what happens? Nothing. You don't feel any more pain. So people could still do what they do, But she didn't feel the pain. And that's what she started to see, how to begin changing her destiny, how to begin changing her life by realizing she was the common factor. So we say, Kabbalah 1 about class 2-3, we are created not only in the image and likeness of the Creator, but we are created as human beings, partners with the Creator. We're in a deal. We're in basically an eternal contract. This is not one you can go to court and erase, overcome. You can't file for bankruptcy from it. You can't get out of it in any way, shape, or form. Because how big is the Creator? Endless. Where are you going to run? Right? Like most of us, if something goes wrong, we'll tend to run away from it. Right? I blame them, I run away. I blame them like this woman did with her relationships. As soon as they turned bad, she ran away from it. She runs away, instant relief, till the next one, and the next one. So we learn here, we're partners with the Creator. But just like any partnership, a true partnership is I have responsibility and you have responsibility. Right? This is why we create the partnership. So I'm willing to do this and receive something. You're willing to do this and receive something in return. So the Creator did the same thing. When we left the invisible, metaphysical, endless world, we created a partnership with the universe, with the Creator. And what is it? It's so simple. That's what makes it difficult, because we're not used to simplicity. You stop and think about things. The world is very simple, is it not? How do you teach your children? Good and bad. Do you teach them when they're little all the shades of gray? Do you teach them all the shades of gray? Maybe I'll get an answer out there, right? No, it's good and bad, right and wrong. It's not good to hit your brother. It's not good to take that candy, right? It's basically good and bad, that's it. And so the world starts like that, and the world is like that. But sadly, and this is I remember the first time I heard my teachers, the Rav and Karen, say this, because I was so proud to become an adult. Till I heard this. What does the word adult mean? Don't say I can drink, I can vote, and things like that. Gamble. What is the word? The word adult. No. If you take something pure and you adulterate it, what do? You corrupted it. So what happens? Children, the universe is amazing. Everything is possible. And then we grow up into adults, and what happens? Oh, we can't do that. We can't do this. We're not able to do this. This isn't real. That's all illusion. My illusionary friends, they were just an illusion. It's not real. Dreams and aspirations. Oh, look at the world. It's never going to happen. And we adulterate ourselves. And that's why we see so much chaos, because we complicate things. We don't allow that childlike simplicity to continue and just see it perhaps in a different way. So the deal we made is very simple. We're the seed. We start. If you put an apple seed in the ground, then the universe will make what from that apple seed? An apple. What do you have to do? Just water it. You just plant the seed. You do your side. Do you make the tree grow an apple? That's nature. That's the universe. That's the Creator. So it's the same thing. Every action we do plants a seed. That's our side. What the universe, the Creator, the light force does is then manifest it. So we say good things will come back to us. A person does something negative, negativity will come back. Don't blame the universe. You planted the seed. Whatever seed you planted will grow accordingly. So first of all, it makes a lot of the burden of life go away. Because how many of you grew up like I did? You know, Chaim, if you get a good education, then you can get a good job. You get a good job, then you'll make a lot of money. You can have what you want. You can have good things, etc. You get. So everything is about me not only having to study, but also make the living and do the thing and get the job. No, I've never been able to do that. It's only my illusion. All I could do is plant seeds. Because how do we know? How do we know it's not always true? How many people have 4 college degrees and they can't make a living? So then where's the fact that if I have the education, of course I will have a good living? Now, I already hear it in your minds. They're screaming it, but I hear it in your brain. Well, that's because of, And right away we have something. The economy, the bankers, the politicians, the this one, the that one. Right away, what do we do again? We started to hug our chaos and establish blame. Oh yes, I would have had a good job if it hadn't been for. Or I had a good job, but then this one stole it, or the job went, or they embezzled money and closed the business, and we got all kinds of justification instead of just saying, look, my life is in my hands. My deal with the Creator, and it's not collective. Each one of us have our own deal. Each one of us have our own deal with the Creator. So it's not what you do and I do, then we both get. No, what I do comes back to me, what you do comes back to you. So I may look at you, and I may allow that opponent, that negative voice in my head say, well, if they do that to you, you have to do it back to them. Right? When I grew up, what did my parents say? Well, just because your sister hit you doesn't mean you have to hit her. And I'm saying, oh yeah, really? Of course I do. How can I let her get away with that? You follow? That's it. So again, it's my seed that I plant. I may copy what other people do. But if they do something negative and they get negativity, what am I supposed to expect? Of course I'll get negativity. Like will attract like. The seeds we plant will come back to us. So we're here to understand, no, the only thing that we need to be responsible for is how we think and act and behave. Period. Behave with more love, kindness, and compassion. That's why we affirm it every Sunday. Because if I act with that, then long term, what's going to come back to me? The universe will reflect it back. Love, kindness, and compassion. And how many of you would like to have a little compassion with some of the mistakes you made? Exactly. We don't want it instant karma. We want to have a little compassion. Wait a second. Have a little compassion on me. It was a mistake. Let me have a chance to make it up. Well, then what about other people? Offer them the chance to make up for it, and you'll get the chance to make up for it. Give them instant judgment and karma, then you'll get it back too. Everything is cause and effect. It's so simple. So then, what is the old adage? If life throws you a lemon, should you scream at the person who threw it at you? Right? They hit you in the head, now you hurt. So scream and yell and fight and bite and the rest of it, and then what do? Blame, hug your chaos, drama kings and queens. You know what happened to me yesterday? That guy threw a lemon at me. It's so terrible. Hit me in the head, fell on the ground. I ran away from it. What do they tell us? If life throws you a lemon, make lemonade. What is that telling us? Take responsibility. You may not be responsible for what they did to you, but every single one of us have responsibility for what we do in response. And here, I want to give this a shot, so watch carefully. Now I need my volunteer. Great. How about one of you? Slip through the camera here? Okay, come. Now you have to watch carefully. We're going to do it just in the simple way. Those of you who are going to come and take Kabbalah 1 with me in a few weeks, we'll do it again. So you cannot participate, right? But you can watch and you can see how it operates. Okay? Right. So remind me who you are?
Joan.
Joan. So did everyone see what Joan did?
Yes.
Did everyone see what I did?
Yes.
What would everybody say who hasn't seen this say that I did? I gave her the pen. Did I? No. Now you think back. Did I actually give Joan the pen? No. So how is it in her hand and not in mine? Oh, she took it, right? But now, if we want to infer, see, she's already getting it, so she's being a really good sport about this, right? If we wanted to infer that taking the pen was a bad thing, and Joan wasn't a Kabbalah student, what would she do? Oh, Joan, you took the pen. What is she going to say? Oh, no, Chaim. You gave it to me. But if you look carefully, and the nice part of this, it's on video, you can go back and watch. Did I actually give her the pen? No. I just held it out like this. Now, here's the key. Why did she take it? Because she thought, as we all would, she thought I was offering it. But I was not. So then on whose free will, on whose real responsibility is it that the pen ended up in Joan's hand? Joan. Now, she can blame me all she wants, but what happens to her destiny? It's in my hands. If she decides to take responsibility, it's not what Chaim did. Oh, he tricked me, he fooled me, he didn't give it, he did give it, doesn't matter. If she's taking responsibility for her response, then in whose hand is her destiny? Exactly. Thank you very much. Okay. So it's very simple, but like we're talking about, simplicity is the key. As Kabbalah is the technology, the universal technology of the soul, then who should be able to apply Kabbalah? If it really is technology of the soul and not a religion or culture or what have you. Every human being. So if every human being from all different backgrounds and capabilities and talents, etc., if it's for everyone, then it has to be simple. It has to be simple. Just like this. You take the pen, you don't take the pen. Now, if she wanted to take the pen, at least it would be her responsibility. She'd say, yes, I want to take the pen. I don't care if Chaim's only holding it out, he is offering me or not. I take the pen. At least I take responsibility. Right? There's a story in the Bible. 12 spies were sent out by Moses into the land of Israel. Right? Now, you got to remember the whole picture. We're slaves in Egypt, whatever that meant. It wasn't good. Right? But it was of our own slavery. Moses takes us out of slavery, 10 plagues, the miracle of the splitting of the Red Sea. We're on our way to the promised land. And what is the promised land for you and me? Freedom from all chaos, peace, harmony, joy, happiness all the time. That's what the promised land is. So we're on the verge. Kabbalistically, we cut to the chase. God inspired Moses, you know what? Go take the temperature of those millions of Israelites. Take their temperature by sending out the leaders into the land of Israel and see what they think about it. So one of them was named Caleb ben Yefuneh, the son of Yefuneh. He was sent with the 12 spies. One of the spies, Joshua, was given an extra blessing by Moses. So did Caleb look at Joshua and say, Joshua, why did you get the blessing? I didn't get the blessing. Why did Moses give you the blessing and not me? Did Caleb take the pen? 10 of the spies were already egocentric. They were just looking for a way not to go into the land of Israel. Because they knew if they went into the land of Israel, the promised land where everybody gets all the light, then who's the head, who's the tail, who's the higher one, who's the lower one? There are none. So the Kabbalists explained that 10 of them went in with their ego desire to be leaders, because these were the leaders of millions. And if they said that the promised land was good, then everybody would go in and they'd need no more leaders. Their jobs would be finished. But Caleb, he didn't allow himself to be victimized. He didn't take the pen. He didn't blame. He didn't hug his chaos. What did he do? He took responsibility. He went to the graves of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the patriarchs. And he drew on their energy and their support not to fall into the illusion like the rest of the spies. And so he and Joshua were the only people who left Egypt and 40 years later arrived in Israel, the promised land. Everybody else died in the desert because he took responsibility. That's what we're learning today. It's not about what they do to you. It's how you respond to it. So yes, people do. And I'm sure we could sit here for years and years discussing what people have done to us in some way or another. But what it's doing to us in our life is completely in our hands. Don't give in to that negative voice in your head and make it now the satisfaction of a temporary nature of being the drama king or queen. Because isn't that a social event? Isn't it so nice? You go to a social event and now you start spreading your drama. And what happens? Just like the dramas on television. You see a little crowd forming over there in the social event. You're wondering, what's going on? And then you go over to find out. Oh yeah, they're telling their story. Come, listen, you have no idea what this is like. Right? What this one did and how they said and this and this. And think about it. Why? Why are we so attracted to those things? Let's be honest with ourselves today. Why are we attracted to other people's drama? Because if it's worse than ours, then we're pretty good. We all have some drama, we have some issues. And it hurts us and causes us pain. Because we haven't learned enough Kabbalah. We're not applying enough how to take control. So it causes pain. It hurts. So if somebody's hurting more, then my pain doesn't feel so bad. So to be involved in somebody else's drama, oh, great. Right? I'm not so bad. Mine's not as bad as that. You follow? So we get some temporary satisfaction. But meanwhile, what improved in our life? We heard their drama. We walk away from that social event. And now, are we happier? No, okay, theirs is worse, but now I go back, theirs is gone, I'm back in mine. I'm in my own drama. And the sad part again is, not only did I take the pen, but I'm holding on to the pen. So the person who gave me the pen, or handed the pen, or I took the pen from, where are they? How many of you are still resentful or hurt or bothered by things that happened years and years ago to people aren't in your life anymore? Exactly. So who's holding the pen? They can't still be giving you the pen, can they? Look at Joan. She's sitting there. I'm over here. I got the pen, right? She left it for me. She took control over her life. That's the whole point. It's in our hands. And don't look at anyone else and say, yeah, but what about them? One of the biggest sources of our chaos in life is not accepting the law of cause and effect. Because if you accept it completely without condition, then when you see, well, but look at that, Chaim. Look at those bad people who have good things happen to them. Or look at those good people who have bad things happen to them. That's what creates our chaos, because we don't see the law of cause and effect at work. Maybe we have to wait years. Okay, I won't use the name. If you know the name, great. But there was a person who is at one point, ran whatever, hedge fund or an investment, something or other, billions of dollars. Everybody wanted to invest with him, right? He was the talk of the town. Look at this guy, the miracle on Wall Street and blah, blah, blah. While he was the miracle on Wall Street, what were we saying? Well, how can that thief have so much good? He's got billions of dollars, and look at me, only a couple million. No, just kidding. Right? Everyone wanted to be part of him in his social circle, etc. Oh, but when the you-know-what hit the fan and they caught him in the Ponzi scheme, and now he's in jail, etc. Now you want to take his place? Now do you have envy and jealousy about him? Now are you feeling victimized by, oh, how come he and I'm... No! Now we see the cause and effect. We just have to be willing to know that cause and effect works, and eventually it'll all work out. But again, in the deal that we made with the Creator, is it our responsibility to make sure they get punished? That the cause and effect comes back? Or even is it our responsibility to bring good to us? You plant an apple seed, you plant a seed of goodness, kindness, love, generosity, compassion. Is it our job now, our responsibility to tell God, hey God, make sure you bring it back to me tomorrow. Give it to me now, make it happen this way. No, it's not our responsibility at all. That's the beauty of the deal. I just keep planting the seeds. If I was busy planting the seeds in an orchard, after 3 years, what am I going to see now? Hundreds of thousands of trees growing hundreds of millions of fruit on it. But if I'm busy planting a seed and now watching it, say, okay, God, come on, let's go. Give me the tree, take it out, make the fruit. I'd have one tree. After 3 years, I'd have one tree with a few pieces of fruit when I could have had hundreds or thousands of trees in my orchard. Be responsible for what you're responsible for. Stop allowing other people to be you're taking the pen. They're holding the pen out. Don't take it anymore. Stop. I have a student just told me the story. She's here, maybe she's in Kabbalah too. She's telling me that she grew up in a family with a number of siblings, and she was told by everyone in her family that she was the least likely to succeed. Now, what goes in her mind? Unworthy, not good enough, etc. Right? And she's holding that. The paradox is, she became extremely successful in business. In fact, grew one store from nothing to millions of dollars, that when the store got seen by a bigger company, the bigger company swallowed up the one store and hired her on for the next 14 years to head up their marketing and sales, whatever it was. She comes to Kabbalah, she's telling me the story, and what does she tell me at the same time? The one hand, she's telling me how successful she was, how much money she was making, how, she had so many people under her. The other hand, she's telling me that her family told her, and she grew up believing she was going to be the least likely to succeed. And with all the external evidence, guess what she still felt? She still felt unworthy and undeserving, not good enough. But the facts showed that she was. But it's not, again, just the fact. It's the pen that she took when she was a child, and she's been holding it through all the 14 years of success and all of the adulation and all the awards and everything else. She's holding the pen. So what was she still feeling? Still unworthy and undeserving. Now she comes here, she starts to learn, beginning with what we're learning, take responsibility. Don't let them tell you who you are. Don't take their pen. So now she's realizing, yes, she's in control of her destiny, not them anymore. So the drama's running out, right? She's taking control. She's controlling her response to things, and she's now happier than ever. Things don't bother. Did all the chaos go away? All the difficult people? No, she still got it. But how does she feel? She let go of the pen. She's not holding the pen of the hurt feelings, the least likely to succeed, the unworthy, the undeserving. She's not holding that pen. Now she's able to connect to what? The power of the light of the Creator in her. The light that the Creator gave her. Our job is to overcome what they say. Our spiritual work, let's rise above their behavior. So they throw the lemon at you. Don't fall down to their level. Don't even say that. Don't live on their level. If they're going to be rotten, don't be rotten with them. No, rise above. So our work is to transcend what they do to us, how they behave, the things they say, and to act with love, kindness, and compassion in spite of them. Do you want them to control your life, or you want to control your life? That's the only question. You can give them control. Keep accusing them of giving you the pen, giving you the pen. Look what they did. Look how they said. Look how they acted. Look, what was I supposed to do, Chaim? So Joan comes up here and she says, what was I supposed to do? The pen was right in front of me. Right? But what now we understand? What two choices did she have? Take it or not take it. Was it I in control of her? If I even stuck the pen directly at her, does she still have the free will to take it or not? Yes or yes? Absolutely. It's still her free will. So even if I'm trying to force her to take it, she doesn't have to. Somebody looks at you and they say whatever the nasty thing is. Do you have to take the pen? Do you have to take it personally and be insulted? But what do most of us learn? Oh, if they're going to criticize us, of course we're going to take the pen. And now we're going to have to criticize them back. Right? What was it, Gandhi? What did Gandhi say about eye for eye and tooth for tooth? Blind people. Right? That's what you create. Blind people. But that's what we've done. We're here today to overcome that. No, realize I am not a victim of anyone else. I am not going to hug my chaos anymore. And if I already took the pen, I'm going to start letting it go and get rid of the pen. And take control over my destiny because it's in my hands. Because the deal is not between you and me. It's not between me and my wife and my kids, my students, my teachers. No. It's between me and the Creator, me and the universe. Your deal is between you and the universe. My kids play, I knew I'd get him to look. They play these video games, right? And even when they're on a team, right? And the team is going in, right, to attack the enemy, it's still one-on-one. It's him versus the computer. Yes, he's got another dozen people or whatever it is on his team. But they're one-on-one with the computer. He's one-on-one in the computer. And the computer is programmed to do what? Respond to him. If he moves this way, then the computer moves that way. He moves this way. But it's already pre-programmed. The universe is pre-programmed, cause and effect, based on us. It's our free will. It's our responsibility. So today we want to stop being the victims of other people. We want to stop being victims. You know who victimizes us the most? Don't say yourself. I know, you already said it. No. Then you have to take Kabbalah 1 again. That voice in our head that we call the opponent is not you. It is not us. It's essential to remember that. It's a parasite that we put there for a reason, which you learn in the classes, but it's not us. The moment you think it's you, how fast will you want to get rid of it? You won't. But if you know it's a parasite, you'll get rid of it in a second when you realize it. So we've been victimized by that negative voice in our head. Call it ego, selfishness, whatever you want to call it. Blame, guilt, shame, anger, jealousy, greed. That's the voice that's victimizing us. The rest is just the behavior that we use. So the voice in our head tells us, yes, be greedy, and we're greedy. Be sad, and we're sad. So we're victimized by the voice in our head, not by other people. Because again, they can only offer the pen. But they can't force us to take it. They can't force us to take it. That's us. hugging our chaos, becoming those drama kings and queens. No, stop blaming, stop being victimized. We've got to start learning how to use the light of God. You and I, for the new people, right, we often repeat the phrase to understand not only with the image and likeness of God, but that means then that we are pure and perfect beings of light. Pure and perfect beings of light. When we don't look in the mirror and see the pure and perfect beings of light, what are we seeing? We're seeing that parasite called the opponent that's put a little cover over us that made us see we're not so good, we're not so worthy, we're a little angry, we have some jealousy, some ego, some fear, whatever insecurities may be, but it's not us. It's that parasite that puts the illusion, right? Like when people get too sick and they start hallucinating, that's basically who we are. We're hallucinating anything but perfection. But we are pure and perfect beings of light, and that's what we've got to keep reminding ourselves. We are pure and perfect beings of light, pure and perfect beings of light. We have to repeat it 1,000 times, because that opponent, that voice, you think the opponent gives up? Right? So now we're all learning Kabbalah. The opponent says, oh, that's it, I'm finished, and runs away. No, it works harder. It works harder. As we grow, it grows, until all of our perfection shines out. Then it's finished. But the only reason it's there is to help us get to our perfection, 100%. That's why it's there. So we're learning Kabbalah so we can take control and be victorious over that voice. Then nobody will be able to hand us a pen anymore. I had a person, I'm teaching this 31 years. I still fall here and there. The other day I'm out in a parking lot, and as I like to do, I back in, right, so it's easy to see. So as I'm getting ready to come out, here comes a dry cleaning truck this way, and it's kind of a narrow road to get out. So I'm watching the truck, and of course it's going a little too slow for me. So first the opponent's telling me, starts getting upset at the driver over there, and I say, oh no, not me, I'm teaching Kabbalah. I got Sunday coming up, right? So I'm watching the truck. So it finally is moving, it moves, and then I'm just getting ready to start out, and I just start to move, and all of a sudden here, I forgot to look to my left. There was nobody there while I'm watching this truck. Now while I'm watching the truck, this woman comes this way. So I start to move out, honk. What was my first response? I left the driver of the dry cleaning truck. My focus starts to come to this driver. And I tell you, honestly, it started to well up. I was about to take the pen. And as she drove by, I said, wait a second, why am I going to take the pen? And I just wished her well, that would be the worst thing that happened to her today. And I sent her light from my soul and extended it out to her, and then I went on with peace and harmony. But I tell you, I was about to, and as I'm teaching you, until we've revealed 100%, there's always going to be something. And it should be, with the help of our work and what we're doing here, that should be the worst thing that happens. That I move out, or you and I, something similar, that's just a little bit like this, and we get warned. So it's nothing major. Let's start accepting those facts, that here and there little things happen that aren't disastrous, they don't harm us, etc. And let's take that as life threw us a lemon, and we can now turn it to lemonade. There's the universe offering us the pen, or that voice inside of us, and say, no, I don't want that pen anymore. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to rise above that. Go back to the spies. The spies, the ones I told you with Caleb. So the 10 spies who were negative, just to give us another perspective how that voice works in our head. The 10 came back, and of course, the agenda was they wanted to tell everybody how bad it was, right? So that nobody would want to go into that land, and then everyone would be a leader, and they would lose their job. So they come back and they say, oh no, there are giants in the land. And that was true. There were giants. But here's the key. And they said, now obviously they didn't go talk to the giants, right? These are the bad guys in their eyes. So they said, yes, we saw giants all over the land of Israel. And then they said, and we were just like grasshoppers in their eyes. How did they know? How did they know that the giants, number one, obviously if they're spying, the giants didn't see them. So how would they know that the giants were thinking of them as small and tiny grasshoppers? Now you get it. They didn't talk to the giants. The giants didn't see them. So who was the grasshopper in whose eyes? The opponent made them believe they were nothing. And that's why they had to build themselves up by being the leaders. Well, if I'm a leader, I must be a somebody. Like the woman I told you, 14 years, amazing, amazing career, job, but still believed she was the grasshopper, still believed she was unworthy and undeserving. Our eyes, when you look in that mirror, what do you see? Do you see the grasshopper or do you see the giant? Do you see the illusion, that shell, that hallucination of less than, pure and perfect, or do you see the pure and perfect beingness? Are you deciding not to take that pen anymore? I want to finish. I want to tell you this story because I just got it written from somebody, right, who watches from, I believe it's Puerto Rico or South America. So she writes me like this. She starts to tell me that for all her life, the way she grew up, etc., she had nothing but anger and resentment towards people in her family, people at work, friends, whatever it was. Like she could never really have a close group of friends because everything was anger and resentment. She was always taking the pen, any little thing they did, etc., till she started to learn Kabbalah. And then she tells me she started to realize that she was making herself the victim. It was her free will to keep taking the pen. So then she says like this, if I don't love myself, I will be a victim of everyone and everything. If I don't love myself, I will be a victim of everyone and everything. If I love myself alone and I don't share my light with others, then I'll be a victim of my opponent, that negative voice in my head. So what did she do? She said she started to scan her Zohar, send light to these people of forgiveness, and she told me. She says it was difficult, it hurt, and she cried through the process. She says, but at the end of it, she became the victor over their negativity. She dropped the pen in our way of understanding it. And now she can love them, she can smile at them, she can be happy around them in spite of what they've ever done or what they do now. Because she's no longer taking the pen. She's no longer allowing herself to be a victim of her opponent that blames them and makes them, in her eyes, the victimizer. She's changed it. She's happier than ever. She wrote, she shared. So I told her, obviously I was going to share it with people because it's very inspirational. Yes, there's a process. Anyone ever watch the Olympics? Yeah? So do you think those athletes just walked out there like yesterday, right? And now they're out competing? No, they're out working for years and years and years, like she said, right? It hurt. It was difficult, and she cried. So these Olympic athletes, just to compete in the Olympics, they also have to stretch themselves. They have to work. It's difficult. It's not easy. They have to sacrifice things, etc., etc. But they're doing it because they see the goal. Their goal is to get to the Olympics. Now, they get to the Olympics. Is that the end of it? They just walk into the Olympic Village and say, hey, give me the gold medal? No. All the training they've done up to that point, all the work, sweat, tears, effort that they've made, that now comes into play, and now they've got to make use of it in the Olympic competition. They don't just walk up there. So it is important, the preparation, but the real key is what happens when they're holding the pen out? What happens when they're throwing the lemon at you? That's what we've got to decide right now. Kabbalah is training for the soul. That when they do stick the pen out, when they do say those nasty things, when challenges come our way, when difficult situations happen, and we can say, no. Get out of my head. I'm not listening to the opponent. I'm going to listen to the light. I'm not going to take the pen. I'm going to turn the lemon into lemonades. I refuse anymore to be the victim of that opponent. I am now going to use the light that the Creator put in my soul. I'm going to be victorious. Over whatever is done to me, I am going to be the victor. I'm going to control my destiny. I'm going to make sure my destiny is the same thing that the Creator sees: love, peace, kindness, happiness. And as I do that and inspire other people, and they're doing the same thing, then we can achieve. It's not that difficult to achieve what every person has desired from the beginning of time: a world of peace and harmony and joy. And it begins with you today being a victor over your opponent. God bless. Okay, so this is the time that we do our offering. For those of you who are new, it is a free will offering, but I have a couple things to show you first. Let me just share with you, I got because it just came yesterday, a story from one of the students. I believe he actually lives in Arizona, so he comes to different centers whenever there are events. So I'll read this to you so you hear his miracle. And I'll show you a couple things. The Zohar Project is going gangbusters. We have in St. Louis, we just had about 100 people in St. Louis spreading the Zohar and spending a few days to do that. We've had them in various places, and we will have a few pictures here. But this was an amazing story, just again to show you what the power of the light is. So he says like this: my miracle I just experienced is this in a nutshell. I'd been driving around for 4 days with my right front wheel literally ready to fall off at any moment. I had an Uber passenger in the late afternoon on Thursday, which was still, if you remember last week, was the day of Rabbi Shimon, the author of the Zohar, the elevation day of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And it just turned out that this passenger was the service manager at Brakes Plus, about 2.5 miles away from my apartment. I was telling him about the strange noise coming from the right front end of my car. He said it sounded like a wheel bearing and I should bring the car in the next morning, which I did. They checked it out and discovered, yes, the wheel bearing was shot and needed replacing. But the miracle, the kicker is this: the hub that holds the wheel bearing and the wheel itself in place was cracked in half, and they removed it by hand with no tools. James, the manager, asked me how long the noise had been occurring, and I told him since Monday. So this is from Monday through Thursday. He was shocked because he said that the wheel had absolutely nothing holding it in place and could have come flying off at any time with zero warning. Most likely on the freeway at high speeds, and it probably would have been a deadly situation. Of course, I knew what was holding the wheel in place. The Zohar that I have on me at all times. It shielded me and any number of my passengers from great harm. So that's the kind of story. Please, okay. That's the kind of story that keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. Why? Because of the illogical, and I do understand it's illogical, that a book can channel the infinite light of the Creator to that extent. So, Mordecai, you have a few pictures? This, again, some of you may have seen it. I think we showed it back in February. In February, we had about 8 students who went to South Korea to hand out the Zohar as close as they could to North Korea. And this is some of them with the Korean soldiers. I think we have a few more. This is the letter that we got in appreciation for the Zohar that we put in the Olympic Village there. There's the Olympic Village, right? Now, this is some of South America, Ecuador, Paraguay. Keep going, Mordecai, just... We handed out to bus drivers. This is Italy, the medical facility. I just took a couple out of each. This is Paraguay, Panama, right? It's just literally spreading that Zohar, and that is not possible without your help. So we do this every week. Your donations are very welcome. All of you who are watching, please go to the Facebook page, go on the website and make a donation, because it's only with your help and your support. The thing to remember, when we're investing in the Kabbalah and the Zohar project and spreading this around, when there's no more chaos in the world, who benefits? Everybody. So it's not just we're giving a donation. We're actually investing in our future, our children's future, and our grandchildren's future. Because when there's no more negative people in the world, we all benefit. So that's the power of what we're doing, which is why we always take these few moments to bless our offering. Because the more consciousness we put in it, the more power it will have. All right? So let's just hold the offering in your hands. We just want to envision more of these miracles. People who are sick being healed, people who are going through financial difficulties to be made prosperous, people who have relationship problems, overcoming them, transforming their natures, injecting our love, our light, our blessing into this gift and this offering, that will reveal light to every human being on the planet. It will grow, bring greater sustenance and abundance to each of you, that you'll be able to share even more. That with all your help, we can speed up the process of bringing Zohar to every corner of the world, that the light will be victorious over the darkness, and that nobody will ever again take the pen of the opponent. with love and gratitude, we give this offering, and together we say, Amen. You didn't catch it the first time, boca.kabbalah.com. All right, you can find everything there. Also, you can go on Facebook and you can see this again. And please, I know I've mentioned it, and I just need your help. Just push share. A lot of people feel a little embarrassed. They don't know how to share it. If you can see it, you can share it. Push the share button, and then a little menu comes down, and it says on your timeline, and just put on your timeline. It's really just that simple. But by sharing it with your friends, you give people opportunity to learn and benefit from what you're learning. And this is how we get all the hundreds of people watching us all over the world, right? Is because you share it, you pay it forward. All right, this is our name for today. If you're new, what you see in front of you are 3 Aramaic letters. That's how we've defined them. But what they actually are conduits or portals to the endless world. They channel the endless light of the Creator. So the energy force of the Creator that maintains the physical world is called the light, and it's channeled through these entities. So the names are, you'll know the names, Mem, Nun, Kuf. Right to left, it's Mem, Nun, Kuf. Just look at it. The unique shapes are what allow the energy to channel out. And as you see, I'm no victim. It's to help us stop being victimized by that opponent and to be victorious over all the illusion and all our limitations. So just let those letters, those images sink into your mind, be engraved in your mind's eye. And then if you can close your eyes, taking a few deep breaths as you sit comfortably in the chair, feet flat on the floor, hands on the lap, just breathing in through the nose, hold the breath for a moment, exhale through the mouth. Just allowing yourself to relax. Relax into the light of the Creator that's all around us. Allowing yourself to relax into and begin connecting in a more powerful way to the light of the Creator in your soul. Breathing in through the air, the light of the Creator. As you exhale, expelling from you any blockage, any illusion, any limitations. And now let's envision in our mind's eye, Mem, Nun, Kuf. These energy forces that shine the light of the Creator. Let them enter into your heart and into your soul. Feel a new awakening of that pure and perfect beingness, that being of light that you truly are. Awakening the strength inside you to be victorious over any illusion, any situation, any words or actions that come your way, that you are rising above. Drawing on the partnership you have with the Creator itself. To just send light. Extend the light of your soul. And let your words, your thoughts and actions be filled with that light. That you're taking control over your destiny. Transcendence over illusions and limitations, letting go of any and all pens you may be holding. Mem, Nun, Kuf, responsibility for our actions. and letting those actions be only actions of the light of the Creator. Love, kindness, compassion, tolerance, generosity, humility, forgiveness. And let this light now shine out to every human being on earth, touching their heart and soul, supporting them to overcome whatever form of victimization they have been in, changing their destiny today in alignment with their pure and perfect light beingness. Let's envision together 7.5 billion beings of light, united by the light, united in the light of peace and love. We take one more deep breath to anchor this into our consciousness. And as you exhale, slowly open your eyes.